My name is Hristo. I'm head of sales at Bitpace. Bitpace is a regulated crypto payment service provider with offices in London, Tallinn, Vilnius, Sofia, and Istanbul. We primarily work with iGaming and Forex merchants.
I'm Mario. I'm the co-founder of AeterEdge. We're basically a payment service provider focused on high-risk industries. We can provide payment methods in more than 70 countries around the world, helping our merchants bring a local experience to their clients, whatever they are.
My name is Tom. I'm from company Todapay. Currently, I'm head of sales in this company. You should be good at legal system. You should have good connections in banking industry. So basically what we do is we provide the whole circle of those services for any of our customers who be satisfied, have anything he needs and prosper with us.
I've been in the industry for more than 10 years now. I always say I'm passionate about payments. I'm a payments enthusiast. What I like the most about payments is the ability to adapt. There is always something new happening in the market. There is always a new trend. There is always a new product, a new tendency, a new regulation, making things a bit more complicated from time to time. So the ability of the industry to adapt, to find their way around the blockers and to keep the industry working, what I like the most about this.
It's mind-blowing how many payment companies you see, and how many different payment methods are available, and how dynamic the industry is. And also how many events we have in the gaming space. Because, for example, we operate also in the Forex space. You would go to maybe 5 to 10 events maximum per year, but in the gaming, and even if you travel all the time, you cannot cover all the industry events. So yeah, very dynamic, so many payment companies, new companies coming up, and also new jurisdictions where these providers are licensed.
People surprise me the most in this business. The business itself built on communication, on a relationship you're building with your partners, your new clients. Yes, in some cases, people were really surprising for me.
First, you need to separate the challenges between working with PSPs from the challenge of working with payments in general in each one of those markets. When we're talking about payments, I think the biggest challenge for those operators is finding the right balance between user experience and fraud prevention and risk assessment. Because fraud can be very easy to prevent. You just block all the transactions, you got no fraud, easy, problem solved. But of course, we don't want that. Helping the clients get the approval, optimize all those transactions, require very fine-tuned fraud rules to make sure that you're letting the good transactions in and you're keeping the bad transactions out. Whenever they want to open a new market, they don't know it yet. They don't have a lot of traffic. They don't have a lot of volumes there to do this fine-tuning by themselves. So one of the value propositions that we bring is to help them optimize those markets, especially when they are entering a new market, which is something different than the challenges of working with PSPs in general as well. What I always tell to my clients is, let's start easy. We need to build the trust. You need to see the settlements coming in time. You need to see the approval rates. You need to see the reliability of the platform. You don't want to shift a lot of volume for a new provider just to find out that they have some downtime and you are missing lots of transactions. So my main point here for the challenge with working with PSPs is start small. Make sure that you know your partner, that you test them long enough, that you are seeing the settlements coming in time, that the fees are calculated properly. So there are a lot of pitfalls here when you are dealing with PSPs, especially when you put in the blend the different cultures. The way you do business in one region might not be exactly the way you do business in other regions. Managing all these things at the same time can be very complex. It is difficult. So it's important that you build that trust with your providers, especially when you are getting new providers. Make sure that you give them time enough to test their flow, test their approval rates, and then you start increasing the volume over time.
One challenge that we observe is that sometimes merchants would require us to, they ask for a solution where the user has a card and they buy the crypto via card, basically. So it's a card to crypto flow, which is something that we don't currently support. But also we believe that it's in certain countries, especially in in emerging markets, it's much easier for the customer to actually have access to crypto, to buy crypto somehow, instead of getting a card or have access to banking solutions, because that would be easier, let's say, in Europe, but in, I don't know, Latin, Africa, Southeast Asia, that, you know, like a lot of people wouldn't have easy access to banking services. So in our opinion, it's much easier to have to buy crypto and then deposit it directly with the iGaming operator.
Many of the conversations that I have with our clients is, okay, if you want to go to this specific country, how do you address the right strategy from the beginning? What are the payment methods that you need to be successful there? We are here in Portugal. I think Portugal is a specific case. For instance, you have MBWay and Multibanco that they have more than 60% of market share. So if you come and try to make a Portugal just with cards, you are going to have a bad time. And it's our role to advise the merchants, to help them understand what are the requirements, especially in fragmented regions. Like Europe can be quite fragmented, but not as much as Africa or Latin America, when the amount of solutions, the amount of payment methods, different currencies, volatility in the Forex market, all of these things can be quite jeopardizing for the merchants.
If you really want to prosper and gain some strategic understanding of what's going to happen, I would say you have to analyze countries like Africa. I'm really looking to Africa currently, and I believe a lot of solutions may be onboarded in there, because there's only a few countries that work pretty good, let's say, with even those card processing. For cards, like Africa is really open region, and probably if your viewers even been to Africa, you might see how many banks are there located. So that's one of the continents I believe in the perspective of 5 years.
If you had made this question maybe 3 years ago, I would say that's smoke. Nothing, crypto doesn't have a future. That's just a bubble. I changed my mind. I think crypto is definitely the future. The easiness that it brings to the market to move funds across the globe, it's unparalleled. Like a SWIFT is not even close. Especially talking about emerging markets, Latin America, Africa, they have a lot of capital control. It's very easy to take funds in and out the country. Crypto is fulfilling this role in facilitating the movement of funds across the globe. When we're talking about Europe, indeed, there is the regulation coming. But again, it's an European regulation. You still have the rest of the world to keep doing their thing with crypto. Now, I'm a firm believer that crypto is the future. It has its role, it has its added value. It's very important, especially for a business that want to operate overseas. It's very hard to get the funds, and you need to wait 1 week, 2 weeks to get the funds. You get super high conversion from the banks. You get spread from all sides with local taxes, all of these things. So crypto, especially like the stable coins, I think here I'm speaking very specifically about stable coins. They have their role, and they are bringing the agility that the world needed to move funds around, because the traditional rails, they're just too slow for the modern world.
Crypto will be one of the methods, one of the prominent ones, definitely because of the global coverage. Like obviously, I think every iGaming operator should have a lot of providers for all the prominent options. Like we see, like still maybe cards is the number one in terms of volumes. Then we observe a lot of like requirement for open banking. But crypto, I think it's really has huge potential, because it allows you actually to accept payments from any country in the world without any limitations, of course, apart from the sanctioned ones.
Trends is always a trick conversation. Before telling what I see, I want to say what I don't see. POSs are not going anywhere. Like, they will stay there. We will still use cards, at least for like the next 5-10 years. We will still rely on POSs for the offline transactions. When we are talking about online transactions, can be a little different, and of course depends a lot on each market. Each market has their own trends, their new payment methods, new regulations coming forward. But if I would make some provisions here in terms of trends, I would see a bit more of consolidation coming to Europe. For instance, all those local cards, I believe at some point there must be some consolidation and to step up to MasterCard and Visa, like this duopoly that we have in cards, and try to all those small cards get together and make a player that can be very local for the European market and bring some real challenge, some real competition to MasterCard and Visa. When we are talking about emerging markets, the trend I see is that more and more direct bank transfers like gaining momentum. A big example we have is from Pix in Brazil. Pix is set to achieve their expected or to pass cards 1 year earlier before it was expected, partially because of the influence of the iGaming industry in Brazil, which is using a lot of Pix. So I believe the same trend will repeat in other countries, especially those where have very fragmented payment methods between, talking about Africa, for instance, mobile money, cards, all of these things. I think more and more local solutions will rise and collect the market share with something very specific for their markets, because they understand the behavior of their clients, they understand the field they are playing in. So that's also something I foresee for the short future.
I believe it might be easier for merchants to use payment orchestration platforms or cashiers where with one integration they have access to several providers. And these providers, I assume, are also carefully selected by the payment platform.
I think payment orchestration is key for any serious business. You cannot have one single provider. You need to have a backup. You need to know how you're orchestrating your transactions to making sure that you are recovering failed transactions. So on a recent search, more than $100 billion are lost every year, for instance, for false declines, which are transactions that are actually good and that end up being declined. So if you don't have an orchestration platform to help you retry those transactions, having a very good cascading route to send those transactions, of course, we're talking about soft declines. Don't send hard declines to other acquirers. Don't do that. You'll be wasting time and money. Having these rules for retrying transactions, having an easy backup. If one of your providers is down, you can easily switch all the traffic to another one. All of these things is very important for any serious merchant, anyone that's really looking to scale their business. It's very hard to build an orchestration platform by yourself. If you don't have the expertise, you might spend a lot of resources trying to do it for yourself. When you have some trusted partners like ours, like Corefy, that can help you do this, create the rules, help with the orchestration. So I see this is key for any business that's really looking to scale and that's really looking to optimize their approval rates.
First of all, I wanted to mention that any client that comes to us, I want to thank you guys. That's a minute of appreciation to Corefy, because you make my job really easier. That's huge appreciation for me, because a lot of clients list do have Corefy. The onboarding process, the communication with your team, that's something we can rely on, because it seems that we share same work ethic, let's say. Talking about the clients, of course, that is mostly European ones. We provide solutions like card processing, which is already integrated in Corefy. In numbers, really average client we have is at least 1.5 million a month. So that's what we do, that's how we operate, and once again, Corefy really helps us with this.
Again, it comes down to, I guess, the relationship, the personal approach, the flexibility. We're quite flexible. We do have a good understanding of the needs of the clients, also the competition, the pricing, etc. It's very competitive. The market is very competitive in terms of price. That's actually a challenge that we have. At the same time, merchants at the end of the day, like medium to long term, are looking for value, and I believe that we have all the capabilities to offer to our merchants what they actually need. Combination of product, of price, and also the right high level of customer service.
There's a phrase I really like. It's like game recognized game. When you see your client, let's say like your client, you always know that there's some match on few levels, like moral level, work ethic level, and stuff like that. If you understand that, first of all, you can, let's say, be friends, not in general, but be in a good relationship with the person, probably you can do a business with him. Once you have a connection with the client you didn't even know, and you feel that you need to do business with him, because that might be a good connection. In that order, we always trying to find solutions for both of us to prosper, you know, to be useful for each other. And in a particular scenario, when we find it, that's it. That's where business happening.
In general, I do believe that it's all about the relationship. We all know that in the iGaming, in payments, in high risk is very much relationship-based business. We count on events like SBC to meet the community, to nurture the relationships, to establish new ones. I also believe in a personalized approach when it comes to dealing with customers and partners.
You need to be friendly to your clients. I think just changing the message helps you build this long-term relationship with your clients. We all want to be felt taken care. So if your clients are feeling you are taking care of them as well, this helps build this relation to your brand, to your business, to help the client stay with you for the long run, be a long-term client, which at the end of the day is what we all want, right? We want our clients to stay with us for the long term.